Kia ora, good evening. Donald Trump has a new dubious honour. He is the first former president to become a convicted felon. The word guilty was read to a New York court 34 times as the jury in Trump's hush money trial returned 34 unanimous verdicts. Trump immediately called the trial a disgrace and blamed it all on President Biden. And Biden is now warning America the only way to defeat Trump is at the ballot box. US correspondent Mitch McCann has the story.
A historic day in America. A former president of the United States, now a convicted felon.
There were no television cameras in the courtroom, but this was still a made-for-TV moment.
Here we go. Count 1, guilty.
Count 2, guilty.
Count 3, guilty.
Count 4, guilty.
34 counts, 34 verdicts.
Guilty.
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 Guilty on all counts.
Donald Trump sat stone-faced inside court as they were read, then turned back to look at the jurors, but none looked back at him. The former president, now convicted for falsifying business records, emerged from court ready to unleash.
This was a rigged trial by a conflicted judge who was corrupt. This was done by the Biden administration.
And making the most of being live on every TV network in America.
Millions and millions of people pouring into our country right now, from prisons and from mental institutions, terrorists.
A fist pump for his supporters and into the car, the motorcade back to Trump Tower under the watchful eye of the TV helicopters. It was a sensationalised ending of the trial that had the makings of a Hollywood drama. The president, the porn star, and the payoff. The president turned the courtroom into a campaign stage. Stormy Daniels gave graphic evidence about an alleged affair with him. And Trump's former lawyer, Michael Cohen, appearing as the star prosecution witness, revealing a payment to a tabloid to bury negative news about his boss. Ultimately, the jury agreed that Donald Trump ordered the scheme to undermine the 2016 election.
This was a sham trial in front of a deeply, irretrievably biased judge.
While this defendant may be unlike any other in American history, we arrived at this trial and ultimately today at this verdict in the same manner as every other case that comes through the courtroom doors, by following the facts and the law and doing so without fear or favor.
According to her husband, Stormy Daniels feels vindicated by the verdict. Outside court, there were tears for Trump.
Arrest me instead!
And joy from anti-Trump protesters.
Oh my God! This is wonderful. It's good. It's so good, you guys.
Donald Trump Jr. wasn't so pleased. Such bullshit, he posted on X. Donald Trump might now be a convicted criminal, but it's unknown how this will impact on his chances for November's election. One poll in recent days suggested up to 60% of voters wouldn't change their minds if there was a guilty verdict in this case. President Biden's campaign said the verdict showed no one was above the law and reminded Americans that convicted felon or not, Trump will be the Republican nominee for president. Trump will be sentenced on the 11th of July, just 4 days before the Republican National Convention.
Mitch joins us from New York. Mitch, is Trump facing prison time for this?
Well, good evening, Yannicka. It is possible that Donald Trump could go to prison as a result of these convictions today for up to 4 years. That is the term of imprisonment that Donald Trump faces. Can you imagine, Yannicka, Donald Trump sharing a jail cell with a Secret Service agent? It is possible, but it is unlikely, according to legal experts who say that is for a few reasons. And the first one is it would be a logistical nightmare. How would you get Donald Trump into a prison and looked after safely? Would he have to take Secret Service agents with him inside the prison? How would that work? Would it be worth the burden to the US taxpayer to pay that much money for him to be safe inside a prison? And the second reason is that while these are criminal charges or criminal convictions, he is still a first-time offender. So there is a view among some experts that it would not warrant a term of incarceration for Donald Trump. Now, we talked in that story a bit near the end about what this would do or wouldn't do for his support, but I can tell you there are some developments in that space tonight. There has been some major checks going going Donald Trump's way and the millions of dollars towards his campaign from big money donors tonight. And one really interesting fact is, outside of those big money donors, his website, his fundraising website, also crashed tonight after the verdicts were read out as well. So it's not just big money, but everyday people donating to Donald Trump's campaign. So the answer of whether or not he would gain or lose support, it seems as if Donald Trump is gaining support as a result of these convictions.
Extraordinary times. Mitch, thank you so much for the update.